Maybe you are already doing something like working in a pharmacy or an office, or maybe you are doing some messages or doing some podcast. And then you are thinking, maybe I will add also some Ayurveda, or maybe I will also add some photography job or working in or employed somewhere. How to see if these two things will coexist or they will exclude each other. So we'll have two options today. One example, which will help us to derive the principle, which we will be able then to use it on your own chart. So let's start the intro and go to these principles. So we will have three steps. One is collect all the options for our source of wealth. Second is, can they coexist or exclude? And the third, if not, which one will push out the other and in which time? So to know the first thing, we have to know the Rasi Drishti, the planetary aspect, because that will be very important. You have to have rectified Navamsha. The Navamsha is the special chart for fortune, but it's very important because this chart will tell us all of the options with the possible jobs. And 10th house, the Lordship, planet in the 10th house, planet aspecting 10th house. So for example, if you have Scorpio, 10th house in the Navamsha, to know this sign aspect, because for example, Aries, Cancer and Capricorn are aspecting this Scorpio in 10th. So whatever you have in this tree will have impact on your career choices. So let's say you have collect all options you have. Like in a Rig Peri, we have Sun, Moon and Rahu, which is promoting this political jobs. We have Mars and Ketu lording Scorpio, so he was getting money from property. And also Venus is aspecting the 10th house, which is for managerial roles and being a CAO and things like that. This is having drishti with Saturn, so it can be a big business like oil, gas, and things like that. And in the Dashamsa, this is a special chart of work. Also, you have to rectify it because it's very sensitive to time changes. It can change in 2-5 minutes. So accurate time is always needed and always requested. And you need to do the rectification of your chart. And in the Dashamsa, the placement of these planets will show what you will be doing with those responsibilities. Will that work within employment, in the business, or in the freelance? Okay, so if you have found all of the jobs, then you have to learn the relationship between the houses. If they are in Kendra, Trikona, they can coexist. They are like, Kendra is, I support you. You may be different, but I support you. Maybe in the family relation, this dynamics is working. Trikona is like, we are going in the same direction, right? Like this person has Mars and Ketu in the 5th house. Very interesting. Rig Peri was starting as a Democrat, but then he changed to Republican, right? This Mars Ketu more in that direction. And there was some, we could say, conflict of interest. At least many people were saying that because he was having that role of Ministry of Energy, but also he was working in those jobs related to, there was some real estate problems there that he's using that power. And then he was also in that oil business things. For example, when he finished that minister government job in December, in the next month, in January, he already started that job in that board of oil and gas. But anyway, we are using this chart as an example because in Rahu Venus, he stepped down from this government job and then he started this private company business in the oil and gas. Of course, he will be protecting the fossil fuels, right? Because that is the Republican line also. He is somehow, the business is also in that line. So Venus, here we see that Venus and the Yoga in the Rashi of Sun, 2nd, 12th, not good relationship. So which relationship are not good? Dushtana, 6th, 8th, and 12th. So Sun in 10th, the government job, Venus in 9th. They are not compatible. Then in the Navamsha, this is quite ambiguous because we have Sun exalted, very nice, but Venus is joining. Now, Venus joining may pull the Sun to debilitation, and also it is having the grahana on the sun, eclipsing. So this, also this Venus and Saturn, this is the yoga for private business as a CAO or entrepreneurship and things like that. So Saturn is in 7th from Sun, right? So he has to leave the government job. So also 7th house also may be, we said Kendra is good, but 7th house may be an exception here. And in the Dashamsa, this is most important, Moon in 2nd will show the politician job, because the moon and Rahu is showing the politician, government jobs, and 2nd, 6th, and 10th, it's you are employed there in the Shamsa. So Venus is in 12. Now, this is the principle of argala. You also need to remember that. So remember two things. Dushtana, 6th, 8th, or 12 are not compatible. 7th sometimes is like going to the other option. And then the argala blocking. So planet in the 2nd will be blocked by planet in the 12th. Also not the best. Therefore, in Rahu Venus, the government job, which is signified by moon in 2nd, is blocked by Venus in 12th. And what is Venus in Saturnian sign again? This is the entrepreneurship jobs. So in Rashi, in the Navamsha, and in the Dashamsa, Venus is with Saturn. So we have this entrepreneur yoga, and this is not compatible with the sun, with that government job, right? So in his case, we could say, it must not be something, like some battle, preferential. It could be circumstantial, but it will be hard that these two will coexist if you have this Dushtana or 7th house relation, like leaving the meaning of that house, or the argala principle, right? So if you are looking for that option, first collect all of the options you may have. 10th house in the Navamsha is a good principle. You can also use Aruda in Rashi, some additional filtering out, and then see if you have found them. You also need to know the meaning of them, like Mars is the properties, Mars Ketu, Saturn, Venus, Saturn is for this entrepreneurship, and the Sun, Moon, Rahu is for politician. If you have assigned the meaning to those planets in your chart, those yogas, we call this position of planets, the yogas, then see if they are in Kendra and Trikona. If they are, you may do those things together. They will strengthen each other. If they are in Dushtana, 7th, or Argala, in a Viroda Argala, this is like a counter Argala, right? Like planet in 2nd is blocked by planet in 12th, planet in 4th is blocked by planet in 10th. If they are not, then they will somehow fight for the dominance. And then use the timing to know which planet in which time will push out the other. Like here, Rahu Venus was pushing out the moon away from the house. So the government job, I'm going now to something else. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. I hope you find this interesting and informative. Write me down in the comments if you have any such situation and how is the timing working for you. And if you'd like to have consultation, help me with understanding what's going on in your chart, Rashi, Navamsha, Dashamsa, hit me up with this email and we can schedule a consultation for you. And of course, if you want to rectify your Navamsha or be sure it's in the proper ascendant, then consider watching this one.